In 2 Chronicles chapter 24, we read of the reign of Joash, king of Judah, for 40 years, from age 7. He began well because he was under the tutelage of Jehoiada the priest. But when Jehoiada died at 130, Joash took notice of political pressure to reintroduce the worship of idols. And he went along with that. And when Jehoiada's sons, and in particular Zechariah the priest, challenged him about this, along with many others, he had Zechariah killed, stoned. While the Lord was not happy with this, and judgment would come. Because if you live by the sword, you will die by the sword. And 2 of Joash's officials in his household killed him while he lay on his bed, recovering from wounds obtained in a battle with the Syrians. For the Lord had raised up the Syrians to defeat Joash, though Joash had a large army, and they only had a small army. So we continue in chapter 25. Amaziah was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jehoaddan of Jerusalem. And he did what was right in the sight of the Lord, but not with a loyal heart. Now it happened as soon as the kingdom was established for him, that he executed his servants who had murdered his father the king. However, he did not execute their children, but did as it is written in the law of the book of Moses, where the Lord commanded, saying, The fathers shall not be put to death for their children, nor shall the children be put to death for their fathers, but a person shall die for his own sin. Moreover, Amaziah gathered Judah together, and set over them captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, according to their fathers' houses, throughout all Judah and Benjamin. And he numbered them from 20 years old and above, and found them to be 300,000 choice men, able to go to war, who could handle spear and shield. He also hired 100,000 mighty men of valour from Israel for 100 talents of silver. But a man of God came to him, saying, O king, do not let the army of Israel go with you, for the Lord is not with Israel, not with any of the children of Ephraim. But if you go, be gone, be strong in battle. Even so, God shall make you fall before your enemy, for God has power to help and to overthrow. Then Amaziah said to the man of God, But what shall we do about the 100 talents which I have given to the troops of Israel? And the man of God answered, The Lord is able to give you much more than this. So Amaziah discharged the troops that had come to him from Ephraim to go back home. Therefore their anger was greatly aroused against Judah, and they returned home in great anger. Then Amaziah strengthened himself, and leading his people he went to the valley of Salt, and killed 10,000 of the people of Seir. Also the children of Judah took captive 10,000 alive, brought them to the top of the rock, and cast them down from the top of the rock, so that they were dashed in pieces. But as for the soldiers of the army which Amaziah had discharged, so that they would not go with him to battle, they raided the cities of Judah from Samaria to Beth-horon, killed 3,000 in them, and took much spoil. Now it was so, after Amaziah came from the slaughter of the Edomites, that he brought the gods of the people of Seir, set them up to be his gods, and bowed down before them, and burned incense to them. Therefore the anger of the Lord was aroused against Amaziah, and he sent him a prophet, who said to him, Why have you sought the gods of the people, which could not rescue their own people from your hand? So it was, as he talked with the king said to him, Have we made you the king's counsellor? Cease. Why should you be killed? Then the prophet ceased, and said, I know that God has determined to destroy you, because you have done this, and have not heeded my advice. Now Amaziah, the king of Judah, asked advice, and sent to Joash the son of Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, Come, let us face one another in battle. And Joash, king of Israel, sent to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, The thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, Give your daughter to my son as a wife. And a wild beast that was in Lebanon passed by and trampled the thistle. Indeed, you say that you have defeated the Edomites, and your heart is lifted up to boast. Stay at home now. Why should you meddle with trouble, that you should fall, you and Judah with you? But Amaziah would not heed, for it came from God, that he might give him into the hand of their enemies, because they sought the gods of Edom. So Joash king of Israel went out, and he and Amaziah king of Judah faced one another at Bethshemesh, which belongs to Judah. And Judah was defeated by Israel, and every man fled to his tent. Then Joash the king of Israel captured Amaziah king of Judah, the son of Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, at Bethshemesh, and he brought him to Jerusalem, and broke down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, 400 cubits. And he took all the gold and silver, all the articles which were found in the house of God, with Obed-Edom, the treasures of the king's house, and hostages, and returned to Samaria. Amaziah, the son of Joash king of Judah, lived 15 years after the death of Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel. Now the rest of the acts of Amaziah, from first to last, indeed, are they not written in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel? After the time that Amaziah turned away from following the Lord, they made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But they sent after him to Lachish and killed him there. Then they brought him on horses and buried him with his fathers in the city of Judah. Well, my name's Arthur, and I thank you for joining me. We see what happens when you follow the Lord, but not with a loyal heart. Yet another king who starts well and finishes badly because of pride. As a young man, he read the law of Moses and meditated on it. Consequently, he executed the two men who murdered his father, but he did not execute their children or their families. God, who brings the punishment even to the third and fourth generation, instructed through Moses that we should not punish the children of a sinner, just the sinner himself, because we do not have enough information. The people of Mount Seir, the Edomites, had once been ruled by Judah in the time of Solomon and David, and Amaziah seeks to bring them back into his domain. But he's not quite sure whether he's got enough strength, so he hires 100,000 soldiers from Israel. But the prophet says, no, don't take them, because the Lord is not with them. What do I do? I've already paid them. The man of God says, God can give you more money than that. But of course these soldiers are not very happy. They've got their money and they haven't done any work. Why shouldn't they be happy? They've been paid for doing nothing, but they take it as a personal insult. And so when they have an opportunity and Amaziah is distracted fighting the people of Seir, they come and raid the cities of Judah and take much spoil. Amaziah had proceeded with his attack on Mount Seir and had a great victory, and he brought home the gods of Mount Seir. The prophet protested. Those gods couldn't save the people of Mount Seir. Why do you want to worship them? To which Amaziah says, be quiet or you'll die. And so the prophet knew God's judgment would be against Amaziah, because his heart was lifted up, and he would not heed the word of the Lord. Despite the long-standing instruction from the Lord not to fight against Israel, Amaziah decides he must retaliate against their attack, and challenges the king of Israel. Fight with me. Joash, king of Israel, says, stay at home. Why meddle? Why do you want to die? But Amaziah persists and is defeated by Israel, who break down part of the wall of Jerusalem and take much gold and silver and hostages. Well, Joash dies, and Amaziah continues to reign for another 15 years, but he is not following the Lord anymore. And eventually he becomes aware that the people of Jerusalem are against him. He flees to Lachish, but they chase after him. He is killed there and brought back to Jerusalem for burial. Yet another king of Judah who begins to walk in the ways of the Lord, but turns away and causes trouble for his people.